PayPal review. We looked at PayPal last in March of 2025. This was a company that over several decades had been trying to build a super app through acquisitions, right? Braintree, Venmo, Zoom, iZettle, Honey, Curve, all these acquisitions that it's made. I was trying to kind of fold those all into the platform to be this one payments everywhere globally. And you had Alex Chris come in as CEO in September of 2023 and said, look, we're going to be more focused on profits and innovation, and especially on the user experience. We're going to use AI to achieve those. We're not just going to go out there and acquire everybody anymore. And you can see he made good on that promise in 2025, 51% growth in free cash flow off of just modest growth in accounts and transactions. And then the authorization for repurchases, right? They authorized a new $15 billion plan for buying back stock. And they committed to using that quite a bit in fiscal 2024. They spent $6 billion, which was 88% of their free cash flow last year on repurchases. And one of the users in our forum was requesting an update on PayPal. I think it's a lot of the same, with actually a little bit improvement on the top line, right? Now we saw revenue growing 7% in the most recent quarter. Transaction revenue is up 6%. Total payment volume up 8%. Compared to last year, those are accelerations from what we saw last year. And then take rate overall, and look at the transaction volume of 1.6%, still very low for the most part. Free cash flow was up even faster than that, 19% increase in free cash flow. When you back out a lot of the timing impacts from its buy now, pay later offerings and the receivables associated with that and the cash required for those receivables, actually free cash flow was up 48% to $2.3 billion. So last year, we saw a 51% increase in free cash flow. This year, you got a company that's growing at 48% free cash flow. Keep in mind, this is not a small business, right? You've got a company that's facilitating $458 billion in the quarter of payment volume, still growing free cash flow at 48%. That's fantastic. And continuing to innovate, right? They've now got a loyalty program. They've got debit and credit cards. You can use a plastic card you can use to pay with PayPal in the grocery store in the UK now. They've got AI agents in the background doing a lot of kind of the back-end tasks like dispute management. And you've got a very shareholder-friendly team that's still committing to pay up to 80% of its free cash flow out as buybacks. During the quarter, they spent $1.5 billion on repurchasing 21 million shares, And even a dividend, a brand new quarterly dividend of 14 cents a share to boot on top of all that, about 10% of the net income they're generating. So all that together, the stock has actually gotten cheaper since it was back in March. The metrics have improved on the top line. You're still printing out plenty of free cash flow. They're using that to buy back shares. I think it's going to be the majority of kind of this, the return for us as shareholders is going to be that, maybe call it about 9.5 to 10% yield is going to be going into a buyback. And to me, that's very attractive, right? Even a company with a 10% free cash flow yield, but you're getting actually higher than that free cash flow yield. You're getting 10% buyback yield. Going back to buyback the stock that's selling at 12 times free cash flow, that it just grew at nearly 50% last year. I consider this to be a well-managed, efficient, and inexpensive company that I would refer to as the Cannibal because it's buying back so many shares. This is a long-term buy and hold for PayPal.